Hi, I'm Robin Schultz with the Hoover Channel. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you'll always know when we have a new video coming up.
This work session to order. Monday night, we'll review payment of bills, go over the minutes. We'll start with Resolution 875326, approving alcohol license for Rebar Group, doing business as Oak and Ale. Ms. Dickerson, any issues with this?
Okay, this license is for a 010 lounge retail liquor. This is a new application for the entity. There was no issues from the police department, and I believe Mac will need to speak. No issues. No issues on this case.
Very well. Any comments or questions on this item? Seeing none, we'll move on to resolution number 875426, approving account information for Regions Bank and Wells Fargo Bank. Ms. Dickerson.
This is updating the authorizations on the bank accounts and updating it with the chief financial officer, and then also placing titles in there in lieu of names, and that way if anytime there's an update, we can change that bank account information.
Very good. Any comments or questions regarding that item? Seeing none, resolution number 875526, authorizing the mayor to execute a professional services contract with Hospitality Business Solutions to promote and coordinate programs and the development of tourism. Mr. Munger.
Good evening. Much in the same vein as the contract that was presented for tourism and promotional materials at the last meeting, this item was also included in the operational budget with funding to come from the $2 hospitality room tax that is levied and that the city originally pledged to go towards developing further tourism activities in the community. This professional services contract is starting in February, running through the end of the year, rate of $5,000 per month, non-renewing unless consented to by the council. So this obligation is only for this fiscal year, and there are sufficient funds in the operating budget to cover this expense.
Very good. Any comments or questions regarding this item?
Mr. President, Brian, this would go through the end of September and not through the end of December, correct?
Yes, sir. Fiscal year.
Thank you.
Brian, can you tell me how this differs from the NARAM contract?
Yes, sir. So the NARAM contract is largely video, audio, and photography based, sort of like the videos that we've used in some of our development efforts recently and on our social media. They're helping on that side of things. This professional services contract is to support Ms. Lynch's efforts to interface mostly with Aldrich Gardens and the Hoover Randall House, and to help develop relationships there as far as pursuing grants, operational planning, and promotion of those two facilities specifically.
Very good. Any other comments or questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Resolution number 875626, adopting the Hoover Fire Department Standards of Cover and the 2025 through 2030 Community-Driven Strategic Plan. Chief Bentley presented on this last Monday night. Okay. Were there any questions for the fire department on this item? He covered it pretty well. Very good. Resolution number 875726, authorizing the mayor to execute a third amendment to lease agreement with RMC Investments for certain premises located at Hoover Commons. Mr. Munger, you sat down too quickly.
It was a very comfortable seat. So this agreement pertains to the police operations building on Lorna Road. That agreement runs only through the end of February, and we've been engaged, both Chief Morris and I, as well as Mr. Grimes, with meeting with those owners about some redevelopment plans that they have for that center overall, and that allowed us to speak with them about the terms of our lease and basically entertain some different options in the future. And as we continue to negotiate a longer-term lease, the original term of this was 10 years in duration. It was a 5 and a 5, and the owner has agreed to a 6-month extension at the same rate as what we're paying now, which is $45,852 annually. So that would extend from March onward for 6 months, and that would allow us to basically complete that negotiation, including some of the security enhancements that the police department would like to see to help secure their parking area at that facility, and allow us some time to basically evaluate our future with that property as well.
Very good. Any comments or questions?
Mr. President, Mr. Munger, do I understand that the owners of the ops building is also the owner for the Hoover Commons?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay, I thought that the ops building had a different owner than the Commons itself.
So I have not checked title on the property, only the GIS as it pertains to property tax records, but when we met with them, they did indicate that they were owners of both. It may be held in a separate LLC, but the same owner is the principal of both.
So it may be a separate corporation owns the ops property?
I don't recall that it was, but I can certainly research that to you and get it to you before the meeting on Monday.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
With this only being a 6 month compared to the 5 year with the options previously, so is the owners saying that there's possibility that we will not renew past this 6 months, or is that still up for debate? And do we have a plan B?
The owner very much wants to retain the police department specifically as a tenant. They view the police department's presence there as a huge enhancement to their retail operation. The response time is probably phenomenal to any events that they have there. They were extremely positive about that, open in the past. I believe the department had been turned down when asking to be close their parking area and some things like that. The owner is now completely receptive to that. They have asked, or they've given us preliminary terms for a full-term renewal. Those require some negotiation, and we asked for some more time to consider that. But I believe both the owner and the department are both very favorable towards retaining this asset under terms to be fleshed out over the next 6 months.
Understood. Thank you. Any further comments or questions?
Do they have any thoughts about maybe selling the city the property in the foreseeable future?
That was something that was discussed. I think they would entertain it. They were very open to a variety of things, and really that is a very limited use building. I believe it was a theater originally before it was converted. The city has invested substantially in it. It is very much a police facility now, and so I think the owner recognizes the value in it, and I think they are open to discussing that, but at present, lease only is what's been discussed.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Well, hopefully you come back in 6 months and we've got more favorable terms.
The current terms are very favorable.
Resolution 875826, authorizing modification of use for ADECA grant funds and to extend fund availability.
Mr. President, if it's suitable to you, the next 3 items all pertain to very similar
Sure, let me read those real
funding
quick.
agreements. The first one that is mentioned is the only one that differentiates, and that is because this grant was originally awarded in 2023 to the city as part of the city's pursuit of a large covered pickleball facility, and there were several legislative measures of support that are now converted to grant funding, as well as an agreement with the county commission that brought another $350,000 towards this effort. None of that came within, it was probably 15% of the funding necessary to actually build the facility at current pricing levels, and ADECA has been rolling these grants forward over the years. We do have the flexibility, as confirmed with ADECA, to re-obligate the funds towards qualifying recreational improvements, and they've given us a deadline of the end of this fiscal year to expend those funds, which limits greatly what scope we have to put towards it. So what we have proposed here is to put this $500,000 award the second $500,000 award and the final $100,000 award, and to allocate those funds towards paying for the re-electrification of Hoover East. That is an ongoing project, properly bid under the competitive bid law. It's satisfactory to ADECA, and that allows us to fully utilize and capture those funds for a very necessary purpose. And then also the council would have the ability to maybe have more latitude in considering other improvements as a consequence.
And that is also resolution number 875926 and 876026. Any comments or questions regarding the ADECA funds?
Mr. Munger, when would those funds become available?
So these funds are available on a reimbursable basis. So once these grant agreements are approved by council, they'll be executed by the mayor. We'll return those to ADECA next week. And because we have been paying steadily, we would basically take our pay request and begin sending them drawdown requests. And this is a very expensive project, as you all know. So my hope is that we would be able to draw down these funds probably over the course of the next 2 to 3 months.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll move on to thank you, Mr. Munger.
Yes, sir.
Resolution number 876126, approving plans and authorizing cooperation with the Alabama Department of Transportation and the Federal Highway Administration for traffic signal and its upgrades on I-65 and related roadways within the city of Hoover. Mr. Promer.
Yes, sir. So this is with ALDOT. So ALDOT's going to complete all the work. It's on Valleydale Road, the 2 exits associated with 65, both the on-ramp and off-ramps there. Item to note, we are already controlling this time along with the cameras. So it's just simply upgrade to the signals, associated cameras, and mounts. So all work will be performed by ALDOT. And they outlined a very specific detail of how work's going to be done. And everything's performed by them. So there's nothing that the city's going to do for this. So
Very good.
easy.
Any comments or questions regarding this item? All right, got off easy. Mr. Miller is going to handle resolution number 876226, authorizing the conveyance of temporary construction easements and a permanent utility easement for the state of Alabama. Mr. Miller.
Yes, sir. Good evening. Do you have a copy of the track sketch in front of you? Just FYI. Was that part of the packet, Wendy?
That should be part of our packet, yes.
Okay. All right. If you could bring that out, if you could look at that. It's talking from a drawing is a little bit more simple than
Ms. Dickerson, are you able to bring that up on the big screen? This is 12 on the draft agenda.
There you go. Perfect. Perfect. So what you have in front of you is a dedication of a permanent utility easement and then 2 temporary construction easements. This is just to get your bearings because it's not shown on the map. The very top where it says acquired right-of-way, that is Interstate 459. The acquired right-of-way that's in the arc, that's kind of towards the bottom of the page, that would be the proposed location of the Ross Bridge extension as it connects to what you're seeing, the acquired right-of-way that's running on the bottom, kind of running northeast. That would be South Shades Crest Road. So just for your reference in there. So Hoover owns that tract of land. So we are asking for dedication of a 20-foot easement, permanent easement for utilities, mainly for the water service to be connected and come bore under the interstate to get reconnected back to South Shades Crest area.
Very good. Any comments or questions regarding this item? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
What,
Well,
this is just the easement, correct? There's no funding for this in this resolution?
No, sir. There will be no funding for this. This will be a donation from the city back towards the project for that location. Looking forward, it would be Hoover's. If we developed that site at all, they would have direct water access to where they could tap in and not have to worry about boring under South Shades Crest Road or another location.
So who again would be responsible for funding the movement of utilities?
The utilities would be part of the Exit 9 project.
Thank you.
all right. Good, Mr. Smith? Yes, sir. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Resolution number 876326, authorizing participation in the Alabama State and Local Cybersecurity Grant Program and authorizing the mayor to execute a rules of engagement agreement with the State of Alabama Office of Information Technology and Auburn University's McCrary Institute. Ms. Lopez, Dr. Lopez, excuse me.
Good evening. Basically, the city of Hoover, we applied for and we've been accepted into the Alabama State and Local Cybersecurity Grant Program. This is a grant that's going to be one-time services in lieu of getting direct monies. And so they're going to help improve the city's cybersecurity readiness, and these agenda items and these documents are going basically used to further that process. We do have Jonathan Shirk here tonight with McCrary Institute if you had any specific questions, that he can answer those as well.
Any questions or comments?
We supposed to ask any questions about cybersecurity?
Might be best to limit our questions. All right, thank you. You've got the next item, the resolution number 876526, adopting an updated investment policy for the city of Hoover.
Yes, so in preparing to call our first investment committee of the calendar year, in reviewing this policy, we realized there were just a few small changes that we wanted to make, with the understanding that after reviewing it, I realized this is kind of written that from the standpoint of the city treasurer doing these things, but we actually kind of outsource that now. Raymond James is our current investment advisor. So we're going to do a more complete revamping, probably April, May, June of this year. But the main thing that this particular update changes is the structure of the investment committee, that instead of naming specific positions on the city council that are on there, it gives a little bit more flexibility, and the council president can choose the 3 members from the council that are on there, and then it would maintain the mayor and the city administrator as the other 2 members of that committee. And then the other changes are slight changes, just updating terminology that needed to be in place. So.
Very good. Just for a little background, so in the past, the council president was an automatic member of this committee. And look, I recognize my strengths and weaknesses. As a school teacher, I may not be the best candidate for this committee, when others up here have much more valuable experience than I do. So I ask for this change in this committee structure. Any comments or questions to Dr. Lopez? Very good, thank you. Next is Resolution 876626, authorizing the mayor of the city of Hoover to execute a license agreement with Richard Shirley. Mr. Martin.
Good evening. The resolution before you would enact an agreement with Mr. Shirley, who is a property owner adjacent to the dead end of Lovell Lane. You go past, if you're familiar with that street, you go past the Garden Home development, heading out Lovell Lane. It is on your left, and as soon as you pass the last turnout for the Garden Home development, the public right-of-way comes to an end shortly thereafter and transitions over into private property, dead ends into Mr. Shirley's property. Mr. Shirley has requested this agreement in order to make certain improvements within the dead end of the public right-of-way, but before exiting the public right-of-way there. The purpose, as stated by Mr. Shirley, is that with the dead end in place, it has attracted a number of folks to the end of the street, dumping their refuse, garbage, and otherwise making for a nuisance situation that Mr. Shirley would like to avoid, and certainly we would like to avoid dumping there as well. Mr. Shirley's long-term plans are to construct his forever home on the property just beyond, and so he has asked that we enter into this arrangement whereby he can construct a gate and a couple of columns to secure the end of the public right-of-way. In reviewing this particular matter, it does not appear that there would be others injured by Mr. Shirley slightly encroaching in the dead end of that right-of-way. And again, you have the benefits of closing off the private drive just beyond and the tail end of the right-of-way to dumping illicitly that has been taking place. I will note that if at any point in time, the city determines that this needs to be terminated, that we can let Mr. Shirley or his successors and assigns know that we are terminating the agreement for whatever reason deemed worthy by the council, and whatever improvements are placed in the public right-of-way, Mr. Shirley or his successors and assigns will need to remove those and return the right-of-way to its previous state.
Very good. Myself and Councilor Murphy rode out and met with Mr. Shirley on his property and viewed it. And Mr. Shirley is here as well tonight. I understand he can't be here Monday night. So is there any questions or comments to Mr. Martin or to Mr. Shirley regarding this item? Seeing
Mr.
none.
Martin, did this go before planning and zoning, or was there no need for that?
No, sir, we did not determine there was a need to go before them. This is strictly as caretakers of the public right-of-way, a council issue.
And this would allow him to also create a gated, even though it's one dwelling, he would have a gated community of his own of sorts.
The gate would cut off the drive to his private residence.
How would trash service be affected?
He would have to move and locate any kind of garbage service for pickup outside of the gate.
Thank you, sir.
Just for clarity too, this is a dead-end site. It's a very large piece of estate property. So one way in, one way out on the end of the cul-de-sac, basically. And the way the trash is set, most individuals just set it on the main strip, so they'll be parking it outside. If it wasn't for the ability for him to kind of have a gate, that's the only reason why we're here, is it like a very tight spot. It doesn't prevent any other properties from getting access. The city doesn't have a need or any assets behind the property that requires access through property, so no need for the city at all. All the utilities sit right there on the property lines. So it's very straightforward, and I think as the mayor stated earlier when he was campaigning, our ability to try to look at everyone and make a educated decision to improve, quality of life of folks versus just making it difficult for them to be able to do the things they need to do. So it's a straightforward process on that end.
Agreed. Mr. Schultz?
Garbage will be on the outside, but if public safety needs to get in on the inside, police or fire, how does that happen?
Construction of the gate is going to have to, they're going to have to require a permit from the building department and coordinate with the fire marshal as far as access for emergency services.
So that's built into the, okay, thank you.
Any further comments or
Mr.
questions?
Martin, what is the current zoning for the property?
Agricultural.
Will he need to try to go and get that to be an estate zoning, or everything's good as agricultural?
Everything's fine as far as the zoning is concerned. Our agricultural district does allow for single-family residences on larger tracts, and this one is approximately 13 acres, my last check.
Would he be allowed to build more than one dwelling on that property?
He's going to be restricted by the amount of roadway frontage. So right now, there's only enough frontage on a public right-of-way for that one dwelling.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right. Ms. Shirley, did you have anything to add? You don't have to, just ask.
I really don't. I think Matt did a great job covering it for me, so I really appreciate y'all taking the time coming out looking at it, and it means a lot, it really does. The biggest thing is, this is a dream home for me and my wife, and part of it is having this gate just to, the road frontage blocking it out, because right now I really have an issue. A lot of coming in with debris. Recently, I've got 2 5-gallon buckets of not cooking oil. I've got to dispose of now, so it's, really appreciate y'all's time. Thank you.
Ms. Shirley, you can take that cooking oil to the Public Safety Center, I believe, behind, or maybe one of the fire departments, I believe, and they will dispose of that for you. Moving on, did you have something? Resolution number 876426, finalizing the budget for fiscal year 2026. Dr. Lopez.
All right, so I think we're going to go into a little more detail on Monday night about this, but this item on the agenda mostly is covering our capital requests. As you remember, we put this part of the budget off to look at those capital project requests a little bit more closely. And so when you look at your Exhibit A, line 1 is basically those items that are in that proposed capital request, and then there's several pages of more detail behind that. Line 2, in addition to that, we had several other items we've gone ahead and added on here as well that will be part of the final original budget for fiscal 26. Line 2 being an additional $450,000 for the Hoover Board of Education. This will allow the total front door fees to be $1.1 million, which is the estimate on the revenue side, and then the grand total of contribution estimated for the school board in fiscal 26 to be about $6.1 million. Then lines 4 through 6 are items related to the police department using various special revenue funds. I can go into this now, or I can go into detail on Monday.
I think you're going to go into much more detail on Monday night,
Yes.
so it's a little bit more transparent to our public and so forth.
Sure.
So, just the highlights. I'd
Yeah,
say.
and then there's a small settlement for an ALDOT project on line 7. Line 8 are the grants that were just previously discussed, the revenue portion for the ADECA, and then an upgrade for, one upgrade on line 9, and then the balancing of that, so.
Are there any questions for Dr. Lopez tonight concerning this item?
What do you anticipate the ending fund balance to be at the end of the year? At this
In the-
point, is it the $79 million figure?
In the general fund or the capital projects fund?
Both.
Or both? I knew that would be the answer. This budget is, the ending general fund balance would be $74.5 million. And for the capital projects fund, we're only going to have probably around 1.5, maybe 2 million unallocated. We're getting, everything else will be allocated.
Thank you. Maybe we can find a way to allocate 100,000 or so.
Okay.
All right, resolution number 873826, granting conditional use approval for a 3-tenant shopping center for the property located at 1543 Montgomery Highway. Mr. Martin.
Yes, the conditional use for this location comes to you with a positive recommendation from the Planning Commission from January. And I believe we had 2 conditions recommended by the Planning Commission. Both of those have been satisfied. The cross-shared parking and access agreement being recorded, as well as the variances obtained related to parking, landscaping, and setbacks from the BZA. So both of those conditions have been satisfied, and it comes with a positive recommendation to this body.
Very good. Any comments or questions for Mr.
Mr.
Martin?
President, Mac, where does this property sit?
It is located, there was a former pawn shop on the site.
Quick Palm?
Yes, sir, that's it.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? All right. We've got the next one as well, Resolution 876726, a resolution for a public nuisance report of cost for the address located at 3766 Abbey Glen Way.
Yes, sir. This was a case that the council declared a nuisance and had us pursue remedy with the circuit court. Circuit court found in our favor and enabled us to go clean the property of the nuisance. We had a hoarding situation in the rear of the yard that was really out of control. And so we did have a contractor go and remedy that situation. And I believe this is a reporting of those costs, and we're seeking lien on the property to recover them.
Very good. Any comments or questions regarding this item?
Mr. President, and I don't know if this is
You
a
got to be quick,
question
Mr. Murphy.
for the city attorney or for Mac, but in all the years previously where the city has gone and cleaned up properties, has the city ever placed liens on any of those properties, especially those that were, I guess some would call frequent flyers?
I know we have placed liens on property pertaining to the weed and grass getting overgrown and us going and abating that. You would have to do a deeper dive, longer history to find another case. Since I've been handling code enforcement items, this was the first hoarding situation that we've gone and cleaned up.
Mr. President, I don't know if maybe if we want to look into in the future, or maybe even reaching back and trying to place liens on properties where the city has gone and spent substantial funds to clean up properties, to try to get those the next time that property is sold.
Yeah, I believe liens are placed on all properties where we go on and cut the grass and so forth. Until they take care of those liens, they're unable to transfer any titles or whatever.
They're paid at the next time for the taxes, with the taxes. So I give the items to the tax collector and the tax assessor, and they place it on that. So the next time that it rolls around for them to pay taxes, there's one cut off a year. So everything from last year will pretty much be on the next year's taxes.
In previous years were handled the same way?
That's correct.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Mr. President, and Charlie, let me know if how far I can go with this. I know some, I'll be careful. I know some individuals are having trouble being able to sell their homes. I've been to, and of course, President Middlebrooks has been in locations as well too, that the smell is so horrendous that you can smell it 4 or 5 blocks away. Some of these situations are not just grass or trees. Some of them are hoarding to the point where I think some of them we've been out there before. I know we have a judicial system we have to follow, of course. In those circumstances, how do we deal with that reoccurring situations, especially when residents are having so many challenges with being able to sell their home?
Well, that would be a nuisance, and noxious fumes are covered by the statute, so whatever steps that Mac's department feels like we need to do, that's why they have code enforcement, and as Wendy's pointed out, we can go in there and abate whatever that nuisance is and whatever our costs are. She puts the lien on the property and we collect it. So if there's any of the properties that if it's just a problem with odor, we can go in there and do something about that, Mac.
So that's just be something that once it's cleaned up, you have to continue to just follow the same protocol. But
Same
outside
thing,
of that,
yes.
there's nothing really other than going through. 'Cause I think some of these things take 4, 5, 6 months.
Well,
to-
we see quite a bit of this in municipal court. And what we try to work with the residents, and if they'll clean it up and they're within the code, then we dismiss it. If they're, as somebody used the term frequent flyer a while ago, if they come back in, then the next time they have to pay a fine, and you have a graduated fine schedule. And we tell them the next time that every day that it allows to go unabated is a separate and distinct charge. And that, so far, that's usually, I started to say usually, that's really gotten their attention.
Okay,
Because
thank you.
those, when you add up, the fines are rather nominal. I think we have a $100 cap, I'm going from memory, Mac. But the court costs are there. And when you do that on a daily basis, you run up a bill quickly.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you.
Mr. Martin, since we've abated this property, have we been back out to view it, and where does it currently stand?
We have, there is a return of some items that you would not customarily find in a rear yard accumulating once again. Late in the last quadrennium, we actually asked our legal team at that time to see if we could go back to the circuit court and have them consider their ruling a standing order, that we may jumpstart the process, so to speak, and pick up right where we left off with the last abatement. Circuit Court decided that they did not consider that ruling a standing order. So if we do pursue remedy through Circuit Court for this particular property again, we'll have to start over.
Do we anticipate that process?
I do.
Okay, very well. Any further comments or questions? All right. Finally, we will set a public hearing for March the 9th, 2026 for resolution number 875226, granting conditional use approval to allow a drive-through facility for Dutch Brothers Coffee for the property located at 1855 Montgomery Highway. You have anything to?
Just that this does come with a positive recommendation from the Planning Commission. There are several conditions that the Planning Commission recommends. One, that if there's any queuing that backs onto Highway 31, the operator will be required to amend the ingress and egress to the satisfaction of the city engineer. Just a quick note, they did have a traffic engineer examine the plan and produce a synopsis. The operator will have, believe, was it 60 spaces, stacking spaces in the drive-through, considerable number and amount of space for patrons to go on site into the drive-through lane. So the traffic engineer was of the opinion that this would not have any adverse impacts on Highway 31. But out of an abundance of caution, we recommended to the Planning Commission to at least give us a condition there that if we do run into a situation where there are any conflicts on 31 or the main access drive into the shopping center, that we'll have some recourse to go to the operator. So that's why you'll see that condition in the recommendation. Secondly, if there's any new lighting or any new lighting that's added to the site would match the existing shopping center as closely as possible. Third, the sign or sign package would need to be applied for separately and meet the requirements of the River Chase Planned Unit Development. Next, that the site and building to be planned and constructed in substantial conformity to the plan submitted as part of the conditional use application. Next, that the property would be subdivided prior to permitting. They are looking to do an out parcel in the existing parking field that is on the site, underutilized sector of the parking field. Next, that the landscaping on the master site would be restored at the time of the subdivision plat being considered. And then finally, that the operator would obtain a business license prior to operation.
Ms. Schultz?
The traffic engineer that looked at it, was that ours or was that theirs?
Skipper Engineering.
So it was theirs. It was hired by them, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And did you say 67 cars? Is that what you said?
60 is the number that is in my mind on the stacking space.
And the landscaping, is that just for their facility or for the entire shopping center?
The entire shopping center.
Okay, so that will need to be done first,
That's correct.
or at some point.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Any further comments or questions?
Mr. President, I gotta be last. Mac, I watched the planning and zoning meeting, and I know that another business represented the possibility of there being some type of conditional requirement within the PUD or within the River Chase ARC or something like that, that no drive-throughs should be allowed. Has that been researched and put to rest?
We actually have multiple drive-throughs that are in existence in River Chase. We have Taco Bell about a block up north of the data center, along with I think what is about to be Guthrie's.
That's a different shopping center. I didn't know if there was anything specific or special about that particular property.
Nothing I'm aware of in River Chase.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
All right, we are at the end of the agenda. Any comments or announcements by council? I believe we will have a send-off Monday night for Miss Hoover Teen and Miss Hoover. Come on out to support them. And with that, we are adjourned.